Welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Andreas Klingler. I'm the current vendor co-chair of IHE-Europe. And today is actually a very exciting day for the vendor community, definitely, but also for IHE-Europe, because today we have the grand launch of the IHE Sharazone, a new offering that we have been working on in a group of volunteers and supporters from our operation organization, IHE Catalyst and Caraval, over the last years and more intensively over the last months to make this additional test offering available to the broader vendor community. In the last couple of weeks, we had also initial founder members working with the system and testing it out. And we think that we are now ready to launch it for everybody to participate and benefit from this new IHE offering. Today, we will have Charles Parisot, former chair of IHE Services, which was very instrumental on building up this service to provide general information about the IHE Sharazone, and later Bruno Lafin will give some insight on how this actually looks, with the hope that we will then have after that some Q&A session and lively discussion, and can provide you more information for the ones which are interested to join. And with this, I hand over to Charles and to give the general introduction to the Sharazone.
Thank you very much, Andreas. Welcome every attendee. Thank you for making time in your busy day to learn about IHE Sharazone. You see that it's a little different than the Connectathon and Projectathon type strand of branding. We use the term zone inside Sharazone because this is something available permanently, 24/7, and a place where you can share and test significant information. So what we found is that in addition to the Connectathon, there was a desire for products that are creating standardized objects, and those could be DICOM objects, it could be CPA documents, it could be fire documents, it could be fire resources, a number of objects that can be persisted and that are crucial in terms of their content, especially because the consumers of those objects are going to process in detail the content, and very often structured content. And having an easy environment in which you can test with other vendor products so that you can be confident that whatever you create, whatever you consume from whatever creator, this can be properly ingested and is also properly created. So in looking at this need that was met with a lot of ad hoc activities around the world, we decided to create the Sharazone, but to create it in a first step with the sharing and testing of DICOM objects. We did this because we believe that the imaging community has been the first one to tell us that they needed this kind of offering. And furthermore, this is a community that has been playing with interoperability at a pretty deep level for almost 30 years now, and we believe that it was they were quite mature and ready to do that. We also remember that we had two failed attempts in the 90s and 2000 to introduce such a service. It was not done by IHE per se. It was done, I would say, in parallel with some support from IHE. But in both cases, it failed, and we learned and we looked very precisely as to the reason for the failure, and we designed Sharazone precisely to correct and make this third attempt quite effective and successful. And we hope you'll agree with us. And if not, please, we want to listen and hear more input and more feedback. Although we start with DICOM, we are thinking definitely beyond DICOM, and we believe that testing CDA documents either at the international level with the IHE profile or HL7 implementation guides, or at the national level with a number of national projects that have refined those CDA documents and that have a need for testing among a rather large pool of vendors. The transaction work, but the content is not quite there yet. So that's the vision for Sharazone. We believe that there are a number of benefits that we would like to provide in performing this testing. We want a safe, from a legal point of view, environment. We want all vendors to be able to collaborate with each other, big one with big one, small one with small one, medium one with small ones. We even want the open source community to be welcome and join. So as long as you have a product that submit DICOM objects, we say bring the object you create, add a test suite so the consumer of this object understand what he needs to do with it, and offer it to all of the other participants of Sharazone. As I said earlier, we want this a 24/7 offering so that people can test whenever it is convenient for their product, at the time they create new product or new version, at the time they are about to release or have released a new product that consume those objects. We target commercial product, and we ask the vendors to release precisely which product, which version of the product is being offered with what a test, shared test input. But we also welcome open source product. Product can be released or planned to be released. This also allows to do some earlier testing and retire issues in those products. Clearly, we do not intend to replace the Connectathon. We realize that the Connectathon is very strong and powerful for testing interaction and large, complex distributed system interoperability issue, but is actually not diving deep enough on the content, and is doing content with a limited range of product and product version, where we think the Sharazone is going to provide a much broader palette of products. So this has been under piloting with 10 vendors that volunteered to do that. We didn't choose them. They were the 10 vendors who responded to our call. And after this piloting, this is the grand launch that we are announcing today. And you can sign contract and join starting November 1st if you are beyond those 10 initial vendors that were courageous enough to do the testing. How does the process work? The concept is you are either a creator, and what you create is a shared test input. It contains test items, the number of DICOM objects data set, and it contains a test suite. What is the intended usage of that DICOM object that you expect the consumer to do? Is he going to simply display the image? Is he going to check annotation? Is he going to check that this set of images can be processed effectively by a 3D application, and on and on and on? And there may be many intent with those objects, and having a test suite is giving the creator a sense of focus for the consumers, and consumer can therefore test the features that were intended with and around that content. Therefore, providing a consumer an ability to pick and choose the shared test input, this package of test item and test suites, and download it and execute the testing. But executing the testing would be of value for the consumer, but we want to also bring value back to the creator. And that was one of the critical elements in this design. We therefore asked the consumers to produce a test report based on the test suite and upload this test report and make it available so that the creator can review what has been tested, what succeeded, what failed, what eventually other thing the consumer did with that data set that may not have been intended with the test suite. So having this closed loop, this workflow between consumer and creator, we believe is providing a balance in value for the creators and a motivation to bring products and share test inputs for those products, as well as the consumer to bring their product and download a whole set of shared test input and know when they've accomplished something of significance with those test items. In that process, a dialogue between the consumer and the creator we think is critical, and we wanted this to be also effectively supported. So we have an administrator of that service. It's open 24/7, but there is human involvement and human oversight. The first step in that oversight is a contract that includes a non-disclosure agreement. And we are asking each creator, each participant to sign a single contract and NDA that will allow them to work in the pool of all consumers and all creators. So you don't have to negotiate those one-on-one NDA, one-to-one NDA between a creator and a participant, do a test, and then having to sign another one because the guy you signed it with has changed job in the company and so forth. No, you sign this, you have ongoing access, and you have a clear and a powerful process and safety from a legal and an antitrust point of view. We also built the service around a test platform that is mediating the exchanges and that testing workflow between the creator participants and the consumer participants. They both need to register in Gazelle, which is the basis for that test platform. It's a dedicated, enhanced version of Gazelle who does that. You find the repository of shared test input where creators can deposit and consumers can download. And then you can put back your test report and access the test reports if you are a creator. So this closes the loop. This is a stable, ongoing platform. And around this platform, we give an equal access to consumer participants who can engage and test with whichever product, whichever shared test input they think is relevant for their other product. Creators, in the same way, they can be specific in what they expect. They can therefore expect candid feedback from the consumers. And we make sure that the test reports are only available to the creators and, of course, the consumer who perform this test. So this is not a source of good and bad product, good and bad implementation. This is a place where if you offer a test input, you will get several consumers to provide you a test report, and therefore giving strong incentive for the creators and confidence that they can bring their product even if they are not perfect, but at least know on what needs to be fixed. So encouraging these exchanges has been the staple of IHE and of the Connectathon, and we wanted to maintain and continue this powerful analysis to make sure that it's a win-win for every participant. And we are making this open to any vendor organization with release or not release product. The only condition is you need to contract and have a contract with IHE for Sharazone that bind all of the participants together with a joint policy. You pay a yearly fee, and I will come back to this, that is proportional to the role you play in Sharazone. So let's talk about the pricing model, because I'm sure you have that question. Because it's offered 24/7, we want to bring this with an annual participation fee so that you can participate anytime, at night if you want, during the day, from the Asia Pacific realm if you're interested, or from South America if you're interested. So it's available worldwide. You pay a single fee, and we make this fee for a company. And that company can provide as many products, as many versions of products, and as many shared test input for each product version that they bring for their testing and participation. But we make the fee based on the company size, because we assume that larger company would have more products, which is generally the case, and therefore obtain a bigger benefit from the service. We've also been very careful to have a pricing that attract creator products, because we think that the success, it's obvious, but it's not obvious to succeed at, is we need the creator products that all of the consumers are interested in, and appealing to consumer products is critical to the success. So size of the company matter. So we have 3 size of companies: small vendors, medium-sized vendor, and large vendors, based on employee, full-time employee that are in that are operating in that company. You see that the creator fee is quite low, because a small vendor can belong to Connectathon and get the same benefit as any large vendor, as for €200 a year. So this is really a cheap service, and it is especially cheap for the creators. We wanted the creator to have absolutely no cost barrier to bring and create and share a test input. More expensive for the participants, because we think that the benefit to the participants is more obvious, and therefore we maintain that 1:4 ratio for the consumer participants. And of course, we welcome with the column both companies that are both creator and consumers. And this is actually the case of several products that consume objects, DICOM objects, and create them and consume them. So from €200 to €5,000, that's a very elastic and proportional price range, which we believe will attract tens of companies very, very rapidly. The pilot was mentioned by Andreas, has been in operation for several weeks now, and we're really thankful for the members that we call our founder members that help streamline, help analyze, and give us good suggestion to improve the contract, who tried the workflow and found things that were not quite as efficient as they would have liked. Look at the tooling, the stability of the tooling, and help us confirm the value for what Sharazone was going to be. And the amazing thing, we didn't plan for it, but you see a mix of some of the largest company in the world of imaging. You see also some medium-sized company, and you see some fairly smaller company. And having that mix was very effective and gave us a comfort that we were addressing the range of the vendor and of the product diversity in that market segment. I want to come back to Sharazone and Connectathon. Some people get confused. They say, you no longer do Connectathon, you're going to do Sharazone. No. Those are complementary. And if you look very precisely, we created that little table here, and you see that the Sharazone and the Connectathon appeal to similar audience and participation. However, on the validation line of the target, we have in the Connectathon, it's the capability of a vendor to support an IHE profile. Here we actually validate specific product version to specific product version. That goes beyond what the Connectathon does. A vendor rarely bring all of his product and product version to every Connectathon. And in fact, we are not tracking the product version. We don't want to be tracking product versions at the Connectathon. However, in the Sharazone, voluntarily, the participants are asked to declare products and version. Another area of difference, and that kind of reinforced what I said, but the other big area of difference is this testing service is anytime asynchronous. And it has a test suite, which is not like at the Connectathon, a test plan generated by IHE to cover the profile. Here, the test suite is generated by the creator vendor. And therefore, the test suite can focus on new features you can do with those image objects, can focus on areas that are more prone to error, like performing measurements, which often are found to be erroneous on images. So therefore, we can basically allow the creators focus on what they believe would be critical for the consumers. The consumers can take advantage of this, but the consumer can test more. They have a real image representative of what this product is actually created. We are not requiring, although we are strongly encouraging and expecting that if some content is based on an IHE profile, that the IHE profile has been already tested in terms of compliance and interoperability testing performed at a Connectathon. But we expect to go beyond that in terms of the content. So as a wrap-up, I want to tell you that on November 1st, if you sign a contract today, you'll be able to go and register your product very early in November. We've built this on a strong and we think credible feedback, and you'll hear the testimony or you'll see the testimony from those founder members. You can request your contract. You go on the Sharazone page, on the IHE Sharazone page of IHE-Europe, and you will see that there is a download for you to get at the contract. You can ask for information at our secretariat and process this contract, sign it, and we will welcome you immediately, and you'll join the Sharazone community. You will be able to register product as you see fit. You can start with a couple products and expand as your product teams, if you have several product teams, find interest, and we believe that they will find interest in creating a test item and getting report feedback or testing their product as a consumer. Anytime testing, I think we've said that enough. Because there are no pricing limit, you can produce many shared test items for a product that has an image that is used in a variety of market segments and allow different type of consuming products to actually use the Sharazone services to enhance their testing and their readiness to deploy at the customer site. And we have a Sharazone moderator, which is available to all Sharazone participants, and that's a moderator that will help you register your product and engage you and provide you all the necessary documentation to operate. As you join, you will be able to immediately find 15 products that have that are engaged from those 10 vendors. There are close to 15 shared test input that have already been tested with 30 test reports have been created. So you see that we have over 2 reports, actually close to 3 test reports that have been produced among those 10 participants. So this is pretty good. You bring a creator product and you get the 3 consumer products that give you feedback on the quality and efficiency of the data that you have shared in those shared test objects. And there are products that are also ready to take on and provide you feedback. So this is just the beginning. We believe and we are confident that this will rapidly increase. So you'll have a broader, and you will contribute to belonging to an environment that has this breadth of products. So this finishes my presentation. We want to share with you some of the testimonies that are available. We encourage you to download the contract and become familiar with some of the more legalese oriented details and protection that your company will have being a SHARAZONE participant. Are there any quick questions while we read the testimonies of our founder members?
Excellent, Charles. So if there are no pressing questions at the moment, we would move on to have a quick glimpse at how this actually looks. And also please feel free to type questions you might have into the chat window so that we can collect them and answer them then afterwards.
Yep, so you see Olympus displaying, you had Aqua before that. Now Siemens, Andreas is going to be happy. And I think you have one more. That gives you a pretty good range of appreciation and the different benefit that people found in the SHARAZONE, even at that initial piloting stage. Thank you very much. I believe that this is the last testimony, and Andreas and Bruno, back to you.